Alright, so I got the hood open. So quick run through. The thing I like about the motor on this car is even though it's got the stage 2 tune and the full 3-inch all the way from the turbo back, no cats, everything. When you first pop the hood, the motor looks very stock, which I like that. I don't like all the colored hoses and chrome parts and big filters, all that kind of stuff. I like it to look very sleek, so I really appreciate that about this car for sure. But you see the forged blow-off valve. It's really nice, really high quality blow-off valve. No leaking issues, no weird startup issues, no boost creep, none of that weird stuff. Very, very good part for this car. It's got the original intercooler. It's an 04, so it's got a few bent fins here and there, but overall the fins are in really, really good condition for an 04. I mean, really the only two areas you can see are there and there that have any kind of collection of bent fins. Other than that, it's pretty great condition for an 04. You got the full turbo back, 3-inch downpipe, uppipe, no cats whatsoever. Sounds amazing. But stock turbo, just the stock turbo hasn't been upgraded to a bigger turbo or anything, so you don't have to worry about bigger injectors, any of that. That was my plans if I was going to keep it till next spring. I was going to go like a VF43 from one of the newer STIs and do bigger injectors. And then probably do like a Cobb tune, something with a little bit finer tuning and capabilities, maybe 2 different fuel maps. And maybe up the boost to like 21, 22 pounds, which I can't even imagine how fast that would be, because as it sits right now with the stock turbo pushing 17 and the stage 2 XPT tune, and then the full turbo back exhaust, everything like that, the car definitely screams. It's a blast to drive, and as soon as you drive it, I'm sure you'll realize what I'm talking about. But you got the factory air box. It's got the Apexy drop-in filter, so it's got better airflow, but yet it keeps that stock appearance and everything, which I like. You got the 5K HIDs. You can kind of see the ballast down in there, those red and black wires. It's a DDM kit. I've used them in all of my vehicles. Really high quality, just good product, so you won't have to worry about those like failing on you or anything like that. I only run Rotella T6 full synthetic oil. It's a great oil in Subarus. I highly recommend sticking with it. It's just good for these motors. They just agree for sure. And then I use a Purelator Pure 1 oil filter. Just really good. One of the better better oil filters on the market for these cars that I've researched. I got new fuel filter. Put that in shortly after I bought the car. It's got full synthetic Royal Purple that I put in for the power steering fluid. These cars, you actually use the Royal Purple full synthetic transmission fluid is what you actually use in place of the power steering fluid, but that's in over there. I got fresh clutch and brake fluid that I put in, .4. And then I had the battery tested. It's a Subaru battery. Battery's still good. Had it tested. It came out good and clear. And then it's got the NGK step holder full iridium plugs that I put in it. The car really didn't even need the plugs, but that's just kind of the way I am. Pretty much when I buy a car, I go through and do all the fluids, spark plugs, filter, you name it, I check it. The tranny fluid, actually it's nice. It has, for the front differential, you have a dipstick. You can see it right there, that bronze dipstick. That's for the front differential. I checked it. It's full. It's spotless. So I think the differential fluids were changed shortly before I bought the car. The only way to check the rear differential is to actually remove the drain bolt from the back. You can see it from the back. It's really easy to change the rear differential fluid. I just haven't opened it up yet because from the service that I know about the car, it has been done recently, so I didn't see any need to do it. But again, like I said, next spring I was going to switch to Modal 300. It's a full synthetic gear oil, and I would suggest making that switch or using Subaru has one called the can't think of it off the top of my head. I think it's called Extra S. That's kind of the OEM fluid that's used in the STIs, and it comes highly recommended to use across the board from a lot of guys as well. So, but the timing belt's been done on this car. Water pump's been done on this car. like I said, the previous owner was pretty meticulous, like I am, about. He took it into Dunning Subaru in Ann Arbor for all the maintenance and stuff, so he was really good about it. But yeah, so everything under the hood that can be done, should be done, you know, you name it, has been done. So air filter, battery, fuel filter, spark plugs, you know, like I said, fluids across the board. Only thing I haven't done is the coolant, but the coolant reservoir, I've never had issues with level or anything. And it's, you know, it's still pretty clean. It's definitely not brand new, but it's still pretty clean. Next spring, that was going to be on my list to flush the system and do new coolant, but haven't got to that one yet. But overall, the car, you can see, is in really, really good condition. Here's the driver's side. So you can see there really is no, there's a few little dents. If I can get to the door down here. Again, I apologize for the bad lighting, but you can kind of see that little few dents right here in the door. Just a few small ones on the driver's side. The front quarter panels, front bumper, all that stuff. There's no dents, really no scratches at all to speak of. The hood just has one small dent. You can see it right there. It's just that little tiny dimple. It's probably about the size of a dime. I had a buddy of mine who does body work quote me. He said, you know, you can do it with dentless paint repair. And he said like 30 to 40 bucks to pop that out. So that's pretty minor, but I like to point everything out. The passenger side has a little bit more dents to it. You can see kind of this. It's really on like the back door. The guy that owned it before me was a student finishing his degree. He was a designer, so I think he parked it in like a college parking lot, and people weren't very careful around him. There's none of the dents are like to the under the paint or anything. They're all pretty surface. I bet you majority, if not all of them, could be, you know, paintless dent repair pulled out. And honestly, yeah, this is a good angle. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's some, you know, few dents in the door. Probably say 7 or 8 of them. And then up in the front door, if you can see that one, it's a little bit bigger of a dent. Obviously, these look bigger on this camera because I'm right up close to them. But as I back away from the car, this color hides things extremely well. And I keep it very, very clean. I'm really OCD about maintaining the exterior and interior of my car. So as you can see, it's in the dead of winter and I want it to be spotless. So yeah, so hopefully that gives you a better idea about the car. If there's any questions you still have, let me know. I've never really done videos like this before, but I know you're coming from Petoskey and help you before you make the drive. Know exactly what it is you're coming to take a look at, and you know I want you to have a full detail on the car. So any questions you have, let me know. Give me a call. You have my number. Like I said, I'll be back in town late on the 3rd. So if you still want to get together on the 4th, that's, you know, works for me. Probably earlier in the afternoon if possible. I have to go into the office later on in the afternoon to catch up from this vacation. But yeah, that's the car, and I would start it up and stuff, but if I start it up, I always let it warm up the full cycle and everything. I'm really meticulous about that too. I don't take it above 3,000 RPMs or even let it get into boost until the car's had a good 8-9 miles to warm up from just slow driving before I'll even, you know, get it above 3,000 RPMs in daily driving. So just all that kind of stuff. You know, some people say it's overkill, but that's just the way I take care of my stuff. And yeah, so you got my number. Give me a call if you have any questions. Thank you, Mike. Bye.